Hi, welcome back to the AppCodeBlog on YouTube. This is Kent. I'm with the AppCodeBlog, and today we're going to continue our series on learning how to use the storyboard. We're going to start with the same code that we ended with last time. So if you don't have that, you can go here, www.theappcodeblock.com/code/_storyboarddemo2.zip. And that'll give you the code of where we finished off last time and where we're going to start today. So let's go ahead and get started. If you weren't with us last time and you just got the code, open it up, and this is what you'll see. We created a tab bar controller, and we have two tabs on there. One of them takes us to a navigation controller, which houses a table view, which then links to a standard view controller. And then the other tab is just a plain view controller that we haven't done anything with yet. This view controller gets presented from our table view by our little plus button. Let me zoom in here at the top of the table view. So we click that plus button and it presents us the view controller here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at creating our own custom view controller that we'll link to this view controller. We're going to name this add name view controller, and once we have created our custom view controller for that, we're going to add a few UI elements, then we're going to create properties for them, and then we're just going to add just a little bit of code and what it can do. So to start off with, let's get rid of these old view controller files. These are ones that came with the project when we created it in Xcode, and we're just going to get rid of those because I want to show us how we can create our own. So I'm going to right click on Storyboard Demo, click New File, Cocoa Touch Class, next. Going to make sure it's a UI view controller, and I'm going to name this Add Name View Controller. Go ahead and add it to our project, and you see it got added down here. Now, what we want to do is we want to link this custom controller to our view controller here. And it's very easy to do in Storyboard and Xcode. All you really have to do is you want to select the view you want to link to. You can see it gets a little blue outline. Whichever one you've selected turns blue, the rest, otherwise it's gray. So we make sure it's selected. And then we want to go to our identity inspector. We're going to custom class, and from our drop-down, we're going to select that custom controller that we just created. So now our view is linked to our add name view controller. And what that means is any UI elements that we put on this view, we will have properties for in our custom controller. And I'm going to show us how we do that right now. So let's go ahead and add a couple of UI elements. We're going to add a label. Just line that up there. We're going to add a button. We're going to name our button change label. And our label, we will just start with it saying name. Let's make that a little bigger. And then our text field, we're going to have a placeholder that also says name. Okay, so we have, let's move that over a little bit. We're acting very slowly today. Okay, so we have our UI all set up. Now we want to create properties in our custom controller for these UI elements. It's very easy to do. I'm going to save our storyboard. I'm going to close our navigator over here, and I like to toggle that open and close just by using Command 0. So it toggles it just like that. So I'm going to toggle it closed. I'm going to close our utilities, and I'm going to select our view. And then I'm going to click this little tuxedo button for the assistant editor. And when you do that, you will see it's going to open up our custom controller that is linked to the view. So now we have them open side by side here. And in order to create properties, I am simply going to hold down the control button. You see it turns my cursor into a hand there. And I'm going to drag from our text field into the private interface section of our file. And I'm just going to name this name text field. And then I'm going to do the same thing with our label. Drag it right there. I'm just going to name label. And then with our button, I'm going to control drag to the actual implementation part of our file. And it's going to create an IB action or method. And I'm going to name it change label. So now, just like that, just by dragging, control dragging, we are able to create properties and IB outlets and IB actions for our UI elements. Before we go any farther, I'm just going to clean up my file here a little bit. Everyone has their own particular style and formatting that they like, and I like my methods to look like this to start off with. So we're going to do that, and we're going to write one line of code here. What's going to happen is when a user enters some text into our text field and then clicks on the button, our label is going to change to the text that's in that text field. It's very simple to do. We have our properties here for our text field and our label, and that's what we're going to be using to make this happen. So we're going to go self.nameLabel.text equals self.name text field.text. And all that's doing is it's saying take the text that's in my text field and assign it to my label. Just like that. Let's save it. Go ahead and run the app. And now you'll notice that I created our IB outlets inside the private part of our interface here in our implementation file. I'm doing that because just for our demo today, we're not going to be accessing those IB outlets or properties from anywhere outside of this class. So it was fine to do that. If you wanted to access those properties from another class, you would want to create those IB outlets in the header portion, in the header file of your custom controller. Okay, we see our simulators going now, and here's our splash screen, and then our tab bar controller with our first tab, which is the table view. Click the plus button, and here's the view that we've been working with. So now we simply add a name in here. Add Rosie, the name of my dog, who I have outside right now, so she's not barking at me. And then we click the button, and it changes our label. Very easy. So you see just how simple it is in Xcode and Storyboard to create a custom controller for our view, throw a couple of UI elements on there, add properties, IB outlets for them, add an IB outlet for the button, an IB action for the button, and link them all up and have this happen. Okay, that's it for today. That was very short and simple, and as always, please come visit me at TheAppCodeBlog.com. There you find tutorials that I've been doing since 2011. I've just kind of started doing them again, so now they're updated and I'm doing them for iOS 8. So please visit me there and make sure and come back here to the AppCode channel on YouTube in the future, and we'll continue our series on storyboards. Thanks a lot. Happy coding.